Hi, so in this video, I am going to show you how I got through this question, and here are the directions. I'm just gonna bring you through the process of how I interpreted it. So what this code is doing right now, if I just run it, for example, first type in the name of the month. So this question is printing out the calendar format of a specific month that the user will type in. So for example, first type in the name of the month. So if I'm choose February, and then type in which day of the week the month starts on. And the days of the week are gonna go by numbers. So Sunday is gonna be number 1, Monday 2, Tuesday 3, and so forth until Saturday is 7. So the week starts with Sunday and ends with Saturday. So if I wanted to start on Friday, then I would put 6. And then number 3, type in the number of days the month has. And that will be 28 for February. And then if I hit enter, I will get a calendar format printed out of the month I made. And this is the directions for the problem I solved here. So if I just show you through the process. So first I'm using the scanner, so I imported the scanner, import java.util.scanner, and then this line too, I assigned the scanner variable so that I can actually use it in this code. And then this is where the scanner scanned data is stored. So in string month, February will be stored on the first line, and then in int begin, 6 will be stored, and int day num, 28 will be stored. So essentially month is just the string variable that contains the month we are trying to print, which is February. Begin is the day of the week that we want to start the month on. And day num will be the number of days the month has, which is 28. And then string header is just the days of the week. This will not change throughout the problem, so I just assigned it as a string variable so that we can use it here as when we print. We don't have to actually type in each of these. So after all of this data stored, the name of the month will first be printed out along with the header of the month. And then this is where these numbers have to print it in a certain pattern, and that will be done with this for loop, and it's right here. So int I equals 1, I will loop until it is less than or equal to the beginning date plus the number of days in the month minus 1, and it will increase by an interval of once. So if I explain what this means, so in here, as I said, so this variable day 1 int day will come in use later on in the for loop, like here and here. But at first, I'll explain to you what these two variables will do throughout the for loop. So I will equal the ith space on the calendar. So by space, I mean, if you see right here, 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 4 spaces, 5 spaces, 6 spaces. So the first day of the calendar starts on the 6th space of this format. And day is the actual day we are printing on the console. So although this starting date 1 is on the 6th space of the calendar, 6 is not the number we're trying to print out. 1 is the number we're trying to print out. So day will indicate the number 1, and I, which is the space on the calendar, will indicate the number 6 to tell us where we are on the calendar. Knowing that part of the code, if we move on, this if statement is that if I the remainder of I divided by 7 equals 1, then we will move on to the next line. So if we just look at it, as we said before, this Friday will be the 6th space on the calendar, which means that this Saturday will be the 7th space, and this one. So the first, since there are 7 days in a week, the first Sunday after the whole week has gone by will be the date that will have to be printed on the next line. So this for loop will loop until it gets to this number, which is the first number will get caught in the if statement because it's the 8th space. This is the 15th space. This is the 22nd space, and this is the 22nd space and 28th space. So essentially the numbers, the multiples of 7, but one more. So these ending numbers will all be multiples of 7, the spaces, because this is the 7th space, the 14th space, 21st space, and 28th space. Oh, and that will be 29th space. I'm sorry. So that is what this line of codes are doing. It's just telling us that we will print a new line whenever the number space has a remainder of 1 divided by 7. And then this part, if I is less than begin, system out prints space. So the reason why the space is being printed is because I is currently 6, and that position is right here. But if I is less than 6, it will be on these spaces. And here we can't just print nothing. We need those spaces to be occupied with just empty spaces like this. So for those spaces that are not occupied by numbers, this is the code that corresponds to that. And this else statement corresponds to the numbers that are greater than or equal to the beginning space. So the spaces that actually are occupied by numbers. So if day divided by 10 equals 0, which means day is a single digit number, then 2 spaces and day will be printed. Else, so if day is a double digit number, only 1 space and day will be printed. This is just because I wanted to keep the space in between each number organized, and just the 1 digit in place in the rows and columns just very organized. That's why these two this if else statement exists. And then at the end of that if else statement, day will be increased by 1. And it will loop on and on until it gets to 28, which is the ending total number of spaces that the calendar will occupy. So that is how I solved the calendar formatting problem. And I first got access kind of to this problem at a coding study with my friends. And I just named it calendar formatting question problem. And there's no specific name to it, but I thought it would be fun to share because just formatting a calendar. That was how I solved this problem, and I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching. Bye.